Humanity. Since the moment it existed, it has undoubtedly chased one thing above all else: immortality. So how close are we really? Up until today, approximately 100 billion people have lived on this planet and died. Today, the world population is about 8 billion, and these people are still alive. But stop for a moment and think. If those 100 billion people were still alive today, what kind of world would we be living in? Would we be ready for the consequences? Driven by the fear of death and the desire for eternity in this life, there is nothing humanity would not dare to do. So has humanity truly come closer to immortality? And would this immortality really benefit humanity and nature? So where does the secret of immortality lie? What if it is hidden in a place we never expected, inside something deadly? Cancer cells? Or is the answer hidden in technology, in transferring human consciousness into a digital world? Or in an even more dangerous idea, future brain transplants? Humanity has never taken immortality this seriously before, and perhaps it has never been this close. Billionaires are pouring their fortunes into finding it. Brian Johnson, with his "Don't Die" slogan, spends $2 million a year aiming to return to the biological age of 18. He takes more than 100 pills a day, works with a 30-person medical team, eats and sleeps at fixed hours, and monitors every second of his sleep. He sees his body not as an organism, but as a software/machine that must be optimized. He removes personal will from the equation and leaves decisions to algorithms. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, does not experiment on himself like Brian Johnson. He views this as a biotechnology engineering problem and funnels his wealth into scientific research. His strategy is this: I won't bother changing my own blood. I'll build the technology that solves aging at its core. He has spent $3 billion on biotechnology with the goal of resetting his cells. Ray Kurzweil says, "Let my body decay, but upload my mind into a computer." But these are only the visible tip of the iceberg. The real madness lies deep inside laboratories. And now, we descend into those laboratories to the scientific and equally dark side of this story. These paths may open the door to immortality, or lead to an irreversible death. Today, we will confront these truths together. Are these just conspiracy theories? Or signs of an unavoidable eternity? Those who watched Johnny Depp's movie Transcendence will remember a mind, a consciousness. Can it be uploaded into a computer or a simulation? Can that consciousness move freely inside a digital world? Can it communicate with us? But the real question is this: does that consciousness truly belong to that person? Or is it merely a flawless, artificial intelligence copy? How could we ever be sure? So where does science stand today? For something like this to be possible, the complete and perfect map of the human brain must be created. Around 100 billion neurons, each with thousands of connections. Do you know what that means? Nearly 100 trillion synapses. But even that is not enough, because those connections must be mapped live, constantly changing, in real time. So where are we now? Today, scientists can only create a static image of the brain, mapping the live flow of synapses. In other words, consciousness itself is still impossible. There are ongoing projects: Neuralink, BrainGate. Significant progress has been made in allowing paralyzed patients to control devices with their minds. This technology will certainly improve in the future. But when it comes to immortality, it is still far from enough. Another method is much darker, much more brutal, and highly controversial: brain transplantation, placing the brain of a dying person into a younger body. It sounds unbelievable, but this is not just a theory. History has lived this nightmare. Let's go back to 1970, to a dark corner of a laboratory. Dr. Robert White attempted the impossible. He severed a monkey's head, and attached it to another body. Everyone thought it was dead. But then, it opened its eyes. The monkey was alive. There was pure terror in its gaze. It tried to bite the doctor in front of it, to wake up from the nightmare. But it couldn't, because below its neck, there was nothing. That mind, trapped inside a foreign mass of flesh, endured this torture for 9 days. In the near past, Italian surgeon Sergio Canavero took the stage. "I will do this on a human," he said. The world held its breath. A volunteer, willing to face death, was even ready to lie on the table. The knife was at the bone. But at the last moment, it was canceled. Because scientists realized the dark truth. Whatever walked away from that table would probably not be a human being, but a broken soul, trapped inside its own mind. This idea never went beyond theory. Animal experiments failed, because once the billions of nerve connections between the brain and the spinal cord are severed, reconnecting them is like trying to merge an ocean back together. If the connection cannot be restored, you are left as a trapped mind in a new body, unable to move, unable to breathe, just a head that can only stare. And let's say it worked. Who would that person be? The owner of the brain, or the owner of the body? Identity, consciousness, personality, all still unanswered questions. And now we arrive at the most disturbing truth. The secret of immortality may be hidden in the place we fear the most. Cancer cells. Yes, you heard that right. Cancer cells. Do not age. Do not die. Do not stop. A normal cell ages every time it divides, because its telomeres shorten. When the telomeres are gone, the cell is finished. But cancer cells break this rule. They keep an enzyme called telomerase permanently active. Telomeres do not shorten. The cell can theoretically divide forever. So biologically speaking, cancer cells are the closest thing to immortality. So why don't we do the same? Scientists at Harvard did something incredible. Using this enzyme, they rejuvenated old mice. Blind mice began to see again. White fur turned black. Reverse aging occurred. So why don't we immediately do the same? Because immortality has a price. Loss of control. Cancer cells never stop. They respect no tissue boundaries. They take over the body. Science knows this very clearly today. If telomeres could be fully controlled, aging could be slowed. But even the smallest mistake means cancer. That is why scientists are not chasing immortality, but a longer and healthier life. Brian Johnson takes 100 pills a day. Bezos spends billions. But what if you don't have millions? Science is actually whispering a secret that is free. The closest thing to immortality is quality sleep, unprocessed food, and stress management. To protect your telomeres, you don't need laboratories, you need nature and peace. While billionaires try not to die, they may be missing life itself. So today, after this video, just appreciate the value of breathing and being healthy. Because real wealth is not how long you live, but how well you fill those years. So perhaps the real question is this: do we want to be immortal? Or do we want to remain human? For a healthier life and content that truly adds value to your life, don't forget to like and subscribe. The next video will be about the secrets of a long and healthy life. Thanks for watching.